All right. Nudge that around. Cool. All right. Well, good evening. My name's Mike Devlin. I'm a productivity coach and a career counselor with Keller Williams Realty, and this is a career session. It's a free information session about real estate careers. I hope that's why you're here. Um, there are. I didn't do that quite in the right order. How about this? Let me just a second. Um, Pause. Now that looks more promising. Okay. I'll edit that part out. Great. This is a real estate career session. It's an information session about real estate careers, and there's three things that I was going to talk about. One is why real estate, and what I mean by that is usually if you're willing to take time off on a Tuesday evening to come to, well, something like this. It means probably that you're looking for something new, something different, hopefully better in your business or professional life. I'm assuming that's why you're here. And if you're looking to do something different, one question would be why real estate? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? What do you have to do to be successful? How much money can you make? We're going to talk about that. Another topic would be how to choose an office to work with. Once you've decided you want to get into real estate, the next question is with whom? There are different kinds of real estate companies. They operate and are structured differently. And we'll look at some of the differences and some of the things you might want to look at if you were picking an office. And finally, how to get started. We're going to talk about how do you get a real estate license? How long does that process take? How much does all this cost? Does that sort of sound like what you came to hear? I hope so, because that's what I'm talking about, right? Just a little bit about my background, if that's all right to start with. I'm the productivity coach for this market center. I'm also one of the trainers for the Market Center. I spent a really long time at a little organization called Century 21. I was the vice president of the largest Century 21 group in Silicon Valley for 20 years, and for 5 years I was the director of training for Century 21 for Northern California and Northern Nevada. So if you do the math, I got started when I was 9. Right? And so I don't know. Anyhow, so I've been with Keller Williams for about 2.5 years now. And my reaction is like many people that come to Keller Williams, which is why didn't I do this a really long time ago? And I'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to start by how to choose an office to affiliate with. And we like to say we're not your ordinary real estate company. And there's 4 areas that we like to talk about is education, marketing, technology, culture, and wealth building. And these, by the way, if you went to a typical real estate office career session, they wouldn't be talking about culture and they wouldn't be talking about wealth building, not in the sense that we're going to talk about it. That's Gary Keller. He founded Keller Williams with Joe Williams about 30 years ago, and still with the company. He's the chairman of the board of Keller Williams. He wrote The Millionaire Real Estate Agent in 2005, which is still a bestseller. Our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. And one of the things that you won't see very often on the wall of a real estate company is our value statement, which is God, family, and then business. It's if you look at the front when you walked in, you'll see it's on the wall. And so we believe that people ought to have lives beyond simply going to work and selling real estate, and that's really the order that we believe it ought to be in. When Gary Keller started Keller Williams 30 years ago, one of the things that he wanted was the agents that were with him, he asked them what would it take for us to develop a company that you would never need to leave. And one of the things they wanted was a shared belief system that they could all believe in and participate in. And that comes, the agents came up with the WI 4Cs two T's and an S, which is, and those of you that are here live, and for those of you that are online, I'm not trying to imply that you're not actually living, but those that are actually here in the room, at the back of the room, you're going to see something which is the belief system, which is sort of conspicuously on our wall. By the way, the fact that you're in a training room is somewhat unique. Most real estate offices do not have training rooms. And the reason is because most real estate offices don't do training. Therefore, they don't need a room, right? So every Keller Williams Market Center has a training room, and I don't know if they always have that one on the wall, but we certainly do. I can remember when I was at Century 21, I was there for a long time. There was a point where we said Keller who? Who's that, right? You know, and then in 2010, Keller Williams passed Century 21 to be the second largest real estate organization in the United States. In 2012, we passed Coldwell Banker, and although we're not as well known for some reasons that I'll articulate, we're the largest residential real estate organization in the United States, the largest in Canada. That makes us, I guess, the largest in North America, and we're growing. In fact, so far this year, Keller Williams added, this is in the first quarter of 2014, about 1,500 associates, right? Now, considering that we're nationwide and have 98,000, 1,500 doesn't seem like a very large number. The National Association of Realtors lost about 50,000 people. So while most of the real estate organizations have been shrinking, we've been still growing. In fact, 1/4 of all the people added to the National Association of Realtors roster last year could be accounted for by people in Keller Williams. This is our annual gross commission. GCI stands for gross commission income. Last year in 2013, we had a 30% increase in the amount of money that our agents made. Our agent population grew by almost 20%. You have to understand that the National Association of Realtors grew by about 1%. And I'm going to talk a little more about why, but one of the things in that list of 4 things that we believe in is education. Most real estate companies, Century 21 is included, and just so you understand, Century 21 is owned by a company called the National Realty Trust. The National Realty Trust owns Coldwell Banker, owns Better Homes and Gardens, owns ERA, owns Sotheby's, and a bunch of others. So they're all managed out of Parsippany, New Jersey. They're all pretty much the same. Most real estate companies that you're aware of are owned by somebody else. Intero was recently bought by Berkshire Hathaway. That's Warren Buffett's group, and they also bought Prudential Realty. Most companies are very similar, and this, so in Terrell and Alon Pinnell and Better Homes and Gardens and Coldwell Banker and Century 21 all have a training program for new people to go through. And by a training program, I mean a in the singular sense. There's a training program. We have a new agent training program which we call Ignite. Ignite is about 20 sessions, and we're starting again up in May. And the purpose of Ignite is to get you to doing a level of 16 transactions a year. Now, when you consider that in Santa Clara County, an average commission could easily top 15 grand, you can do the math as to whether or not you could live on 16 a year. You might have to cut back a little, but you might, you know. But we have a level 2 training, and level 2 training is called Lead Generation 36-12-3, and the 36 means 36 transactions in 12 months with 3 hours a day spent on lead generation. We then have level 3, which is buyer mastery and seller mastery. When you get to levels 4, 5, 6, and 7, it's about adding people and developing a team and running a business. How to hire an administrative person, how to bring on a buyer's agent, and how to grow. We're big on teams. This is something from Training Magazine that came out recently. Training Magazine rated the top 125 training companies in the world. and there was only one real estate company on their list of the top 125. It was Keller Williams, and we were ranked number 2 as the number 2 training company in the world. Gary Keller likes to say, so I repeat it, is that we're a training and coaching company that just happens to be in real estate, right? But our focus is is very much on training and coaching. Speaking of that, I mentioned that I'm a productivity coach for this market center. We have MAPS coaching, and MAPS stands for Mega Agent Productivity Systems. So we have, do you understand the difference between training and coaching? Right? So training, you're in a training room, right? And there's training, right? Coaching means that you meet with somebody on one-on-one and in small groups to help you set goals, reach goals, and move along to your goals. No other real estate organization that I know of actually has a system for coaching people. They would tell you to go someplace else if you want to coach. They just have training. Our career development for this market center, we have 2 programs. This is for people that are starting new. We have something which we call the Launch Program. And the Launch Program, as you might guess, is designed to launch your real estate career. And it goes for your first 3 transactions, which is our goal to do in like the first 60 to 90 days. It involves training, and it involves coaching, and it involves mentoring. What mentoring means is that you get to interview and pick among a large list of potential mentors, some of the top agents in the market center who will mentor you. That means they would go with you on a listing appointment. They would meet with clients in the office with you, and they would hold your hand all the way through the transaction. No other real estate company that I know of has an established mentoring program. We then have something called Coach to Cap, and I'm going to explain a little more what capping means, but it's for post-launch people, and it's designed to get you until you cap, which I'm going to explain in a minute what capping means. Education technology, we're in Silicon Valley. And as such, you might be judged by a potential client by the quality of your website and your ability to do internet marketing. So we have multiple websites that our agents are given. I'm also, by the way, a technology coordinator, so I help agents get their system set up. But we have an eAgency site, which is a very customizable site, an eEdge site, which is what we call a set it and forget it site that they do different purposes. And sometimes people say, why do I need more than one website? And my answer is, if you were fishing, the more nets, the more fish. And so they are designed to do different things. There's a complete lead conversion back-end system, a customer relationship management system that also develops marketing materials. It'll make flyers for open houses and property flyers and email templates and presentations, and everything is in a turnkey system. That guy looks kind of happy. One of the things that attracted me to Keller Williams was, it says here, wealth building, the power of passive income. Every month, every market center in Keller Williams takes 48% of their profits and shares it with the people, with the associates. Let me say that one more time. This is true for all Keller Williams offices in the United States, Canada, all Keller Williams offices. Every month, we give back to our associates 48% of the office profits. I don't know if you've ever worked at a company that shared anything, but rarely do you get 48%. And the reason that we do that is because, to give you, the company I used to work at, the Century 21 Group, the role of the broker was something of like an emperor, right? In other words, let me just explain the difference between a traditional company and the way we see ourselves, right? In a traditional real estate company, the brand is what's important. If you were to go to Century 21 or Intero or Lon Pennell or Coldwell Banker and you ask them, why should I work for you? They're going to say, because we are who we are, right? You understand? You're going to want our brand, right? Now, what I ask people, how many of you have ever worked with a real estate agent? Ever hired a real estate agent? All right. How important was it in your decision to work with that individual, the name of the company that they worked at? How important was that decision? If they had a blue sign instead of a red sign, would you have still worked with them? Right. And in fact, when they survey buyers and sellers, and they ask them, they being the National Association of Realtors, and they ask them how important was the name of the company that the agent worked for in your decision to work with that agent, guess what? They overwhelmingly say it wasn't important at all. Right? So people aren't we believe they're not going to work with you because you're with Keller Williams, right? They're not going to work with you, by the way, because you're at Alon Pinnell, Coldwell Banker, Antero, or Century 21. They're going to work with you because they want to work with you, right? So having decided that, one of the other things, just to give you where that goes, if you were to go to any of those, I'm not going to go through the list every time, but any of those other companies and you were to list a house, they're going to put a for sale sign in the front yard for you and they won't charge you. Isn't that nice? It will have the office phone number on it. Right? You understand? Now you can run out and put the little thing on top that says call Joe, right, with your phone number, but the office phone number is on your for sale sign. The bad news at Keller Williams is we're not going to buy your for sale sign for you. They're like $40. But the good news is we don't want our phone number anywhere near your sign. Right? We want your phone number, your website, your email address, your picture. We want you on your sign, not us. We also realize that all that a real estate company actually has that's an asset are the people that work there. You understand? If everybody left, we would have nothing but liabilities. So if you assist us in building the company, we split almost 50-50 all of the profits with you, right? 48% of the profits go to the owners. 40% go to the associates and 52% go to the owners. Is that anything at all? Well, in the 30 years that Keller Williams has been around, it's now over $500 million. In 2012, it was 55 million, and that just sort of shows what the trajectory has been. By the way, in 2013, that's that purple line at the bottom, it went up to 78 million. So between 2012 and 2013, it went up 41%. In 2012, it was 44% more than it was the year before. We have people that, now, let me just make sure I'll explain how this works, right? If a few things have to happen for you to participate in profit share, right? Number one, you have to help the company grow. That means that somebody joins the office, market center. It doesn't have to be this one. It could be anywhere in the United States. And when they join, they're asked, why are you here? Who is it that was influential in bringing you here? And you say Joe, right? Now, if Joe, let's say Joe, you're Joe, and somebody names you, you've done the first thing, you've sponsored somebody, right? Somebody has joined the office. Number two, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to sell a house, but the other guy does. Right, and so he sells a house, and also he has to be contributing to the company dollar. I'll explain that in a minute. We have this thing called capping, so I'll explain that. And number four, the office makes a profit. Those four things occur, you get part of the profits, right? And we give up 48% every month. Then, by the way, after 3 years at Keller Williams, you vest in the profit sharing program, which means you continue to receive profit share even if you're not here anymore. You can name a beneficiary, leave it to somebody. We have agents that retire because when their profit sharing gets to a certain point, they stop selling real estate. Now, I don't know if you've ever worked in a sales organization. Typically, when you stop selling, that's it. Right, you understand? And insurance, I know but other than that, right? When you stop, you're done. At Keller Williams, by helping us grow, and are we growing? Right, by helping us grow, you can participate in profit sharing. Keller Williams Realties. This is from the Wall Street Journal last year. Every year, the Wall Street Journal with Real Trends puts out the top 1,000 report. They call it the 1,000 report of the top 1,000 real estate agents in the United States. Last year, 11% of them were at Keller Williams. 25% of the top teams in the United States were at Keller Williams. Coldwell Banker, which is a publicly traded company, issued a report. They hired an outside consultant to analyze their business, and this became part of their public statement. And the outside consultant said that the greatest threat to Coldwell Banker's business model was the Keller Williams team program. And if when you hear more about that, you'd understand why. It's not just that we have a lot of people, we have some of the top agents and most of the top teams in the United States.